Hello friends, welcome to my channel. Today's violin lesson will be an intermediate violin lesson on the 1/4 octaves. 1/4 octaves are an outgrowth, I guess you could say, of our most basic position. If we playing B to E on the A string, that's a perfect fourth. We can do the same on the D string, perfect fourth. Now the octave, the most basic octave, is if we take that fourth finger A on the D string, move it over to the E string, we have, move it straight across. It creates an octave. So you've already got the basic shape of your hand all set. Now you just have to get used to playing these two notes together and making them blend, because they're a perfect interval, just like perfect fifth, perfect fourth, unison. These are the perfect intervals, so octaves also. So we have the basic concept. We can play D to D, E to E. Now the idea of practicing so that we could play a series of octaves in a row. I suggest we practice in scales. Now, what's really cool about octaves is it pulls all the skills of your shifting in. When we start with let's say we start with G major. So the first two are pretty easy. Now, for the next one, we have to shift to second position. So we're visualizing a whole step. Now we're going to go to third position for, let's say, C natural, half. But I'm going to touch it away in third position. And then let's say I want to go to fourth position. Still touching a little bit. Let's say I'll come back here. Same thing. Visualizing whole steps, half steps, coming over. All the way up, every octave. Here, of course, not in second position. You don't touch second position. That's straight in. But there's third, there's fourth, coming around for fifth, and then up to G. Coming back. Touch, 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 come away. Now straight back. Touch, touch. So it's a wonderful exercise to confirm your shifting, especially to third position, going up and coming down. If you're up in here, F sharp to D, look at that action. Wrist touches on the way down and it straightens out again. So now, once we've got those basic essentials down, and of course, you can take the Flesch scale book, scale studies, and use the examples they give where he goes up an octave, then he comes down a few notes, then he goes up a little further, comes back down. It doesn't really matter as long as you just play these octaves and get your hand used to it. Now, here's a little subtle detail which is going to make your octave practice more efficient. One day, when I was a young man practicing backstage at the San Francisco Symphony, I was practicing some octaves of some piece. And the principal cellist, Robert Sayer, walked by. He listened for a second. He said, let me give you a tip here. Okay, no one had ever mentioned this to me before. He says, make sure you lean heavier with the bow to the lower note, to the lower of the octave, and then let the upper be a highlight. And I said, that's an interesting idea. And that's so important. So I'm really focusing my attention to the lower note. Here's another tip for you. When an octave is out of tune, be listening to the lower note. Make sure the lower note is in tune. Adjust the fourth finger to the lower note. Never adjust the first finger to the fourth finger. I mean, you got to do what you got to do, but the ideal is to set it up so you've got your listen, make sure this guy's adjust the fourth finger to the first finger and lean on those lower notes. There's millions of passages of octaves, like the first Beethoven concerto, Mendelssohn, Brahms. It's all over the place. Octaves, the 1/4 octaves, are the most valuable thing you could practice to prepare for those kind of concertos. So once again, start. Pick a scale. A major. Just lean heavier on the lower string. Be aware, constantly aware of when you're getting up near the rib. You're touching the rib, starting in third position and going on up. You'll do the same thing if you make big shifts. There's lots of places, in the concertos, like in that Beethoven. You're playing a dominant 7th chord to start with. A, C sharp. Then you go into G, right? So this is a major third. Minor third. Then I have to come back to 2. See, there was 2nd position, 4th position, 6th position. I have a student right now working on the Mendelssohn violin concerto. So, same thing. You got to start out with an open 2, 2nd position. You got to grab that after. So, practice your scales, and by the time you get to play the big concertos, you'll have that skill. Okay, thanks so much for listening. I hope this was a little helpful for you, give you some tips that I've learned along the way. Have a great day, and we'll see you on the next video. And if you like it, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed, please do. That would be great. Take care.